chapter in my room, no trace left here of you. Cold call another person or two, seems like I'm the only one home. Aligned with the sun, shadows on everyone, no reason to run, hide out inside. Just stay at home, so lost and alone. Be here, unknown, don't tell a soul. Bad taste, can't seem to get it out. Blank space where you shut my mouth. Filled yours with love to spit it out. I thought we wanted the same thing. Trust me, it's alright. Goodbye. Now let me try to sleep, but don't care to say goodnight. It would be a lie. Another fleeting dream. Trust me, it's alright. Goodbye. You never meant anything. You mean nothing to me. Just stay at home, so lost and alone. Be here, unknown, don't tell a soul. Been so down since you left, can't get out of this hole. Stay safe at home, so lost and alone.
Sorry about that, guys. I was just urinating. Yes, that was a victory piss. That's what that was. Oh, yeah. Hello, guys. We just won at Anfield. Hello. And we've done the double over Liverpool. Hello. What's going on? What is occurring in the world? Our City back. Hello, hello. Bizarre game, guys. Welcome to the Post-Mortem. We are going to talk about the game today. Hopefully you guys are going to help me understand it a bit more, because my emotions are all over the place. I don't really know what I still don't really quite understand what I've just watched. I've just tried to record a post-match video, and that will be live after this stream. But even then, I was like struggling to get my thoughts into place. Such was the bizarre nature of the end, and also the fact that we won the game, so that's beautiful. But then the fact that the issues were still there, which isn't. Very, very confusing. So we're going to talk about all of that today and more. We're going to talk about first half versus second half differences, the new shape that City used today as well, when we were attacking anyway. The use of Semenyo, did it work? Was it a little bit stinky? What did we like? What did we not like to see? Yeah, before we get started, I do just want to say that the purpose of this channel, and indeed me, is to try to be as measured and objective as I can, okay? And I get that that's not to everyone's tastes. I get that. So if I come across as overly negative or whatever today, just note that I'm trying to make it come from a position of practical reality rather than just being a dickhead about it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to talk about a lot of good things today, but I'm also going to talk about bad things today. And maybe that's not the time and place for it, because we won at Anfield, and maybe you can just say that's the end of it, we should be happy about it. But I don't like to do results-based analysis on this channel. So yes, from a purely fan POV, I am delighted with the fact that we've won today. I'm going to be talking about the good stuff as well. but I do need people to know from the off that I am also going to talk about bad stuff today. So this isn't going to just be, what is it? What is it the kids say? A glaze sesh. Yes, I am going to be touching on bad things as well. Just FYI, just because like people got a bit annoyed at the end of my watch along. I noticed people were saying like, why are you being so negative? Like, why aren't you happy? Why aren't you buzzing? I am buzzing. Maybe I'm not showing it because it's such a mixed emotion, but I just wanted to make that clear. Yes, we are going to be doing player ratings. Absolutely, we are. So don't you worry about it. We're doing many things. Don't worry. It's all good. It's all going to be lovely. We're going to have a lovely stream today. We're going to have a lovely stream today. Olive says give Haaland the Ballon d'Or. A decent little win. Absolutely. Third should have stood. Referee and VAR rats for disallowing the goal. I tell you what, before I even like get into the chat proper, let me just start with that, because that is something that I do want to. You guys said the 1930s for the last time we did the double, right? 36 or 37, something stupid. Let's get this out of the way, because I barely ever talk about refereeing decisions because I think it's boring, but I just want to get this out of the way because this was staggering, wasn't it? I think it's just a perfect advert for where we are, where we have come as a society in the world of VAR. Do I know what happened in 1937? What, in the football world or in historical terms? Was that when City... I was going to say, yeah, that was the year City won and then got relegated the year after, yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, let's just touch on this. I don't care what the correct decision is, and that sounds stupid, right? But there has to be a modicum of common sense in the world of football officiating and refereeing. There has to be some form of common sense here. And it's stupid that has happened at the end. It is stupid. And I don't care if it was the objective, correct decision that was reached. I do not care about that. This pursuit of perfection is bullshit. And it's just doing bullshit, there you go. And it's just stupid. It's just a stupid thing, and I don't know what the solution is, but at what point do you just say, this is not good for the game on any level? No one wants what just happened there. Why can't we just have a common sense approach of just allowing the goal to stand and it being that, okay, yeah, Szoboszlai fouled Haaland and Haaland fouled Szoboszlai. Why can't we just have this common sense thing of they cancel each other out, move on with our pathetic lives? But we can't have that because we have to have the exact, definite, 100% minutely accurate decision. That's just a little rant about VAR because I didn't like what happened at the end there. I don't like how VAR is being used where it's micro-analysing literally everything in pursuit of perfection, and football isn't perfection. So it's very, very annoying, and I don't like that. That's the first thing to say. I'm going to get that out of the way now because I don't like talking about refereeing decisions. It's annoying. So let's now talk about the actual game, shall we? Let's talk about that. So the lineup was very interesting, wasn't it? The lineup was very interesting. It's the first time we've seen all of Marmoush and Haaland and Semenyo start a game of football. There was no Cherki, there was no Reinders, there was no Foden. So a really interesting game. Now, team, sorry. And I was trying to figure out, certainly in that first half anyway, basically what we were doing in respect of the on-ball shape. The off-ball was, we went back to our diamond press. So we had Marmoush and Haaland leading it. We had Bernardo in behind, and then either side of the diamond you have O'Reilly and Semenyo. Semenyo providing a lot of defensive work and second ball winning / duel winning / just general pressing there. He's a really good asset there. So there was nothing new there. That was all fine. What was happening on ball, and this is where it was confusing me, because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that we've not done this all season. It was basically the exact same. It was Semenyo's positioning that was confusing me. I was trying to figure out what is actually going on here, and he was basically just playing as the 10, and it was the 10, and it was a diamond again. It was just it was the same 4-4-2 diamond, The only difference, obviously one is on ball, one is off ball. The only difference was the positioning of Bernardo and Semenyo. So Bernardo went to his normal off-ball position at the tip of the diamond when we were without possession. When we had the ball, they swapped. So you had Semenyo leading that attack, if you will, in that midfield diamond, whatever you want to call it, and Bernardo would rotate out to the right. And speaking of rotations, there was a lot of that going on. It was a very fluid shape, as seems to be the case whenever we're playing like this forward 2 situation. So sometimes it'll be Semenyo dropping really deep to receive, in which case O'Reilly goes ahead instead. Likewise with Bernardo as well. Sometimes Bernardo would actually go to help out the centre-backs first of all, and then he would push up. So that was fascinating to watch as well. In the first half anyway. Now the question is, did it work? Sort of, yes. It definitely worked for the intended defensive approach, which was clearly Pep was concerned about keeping City defensively tight. And that worked. They had no shots on target. They created nothing in the game. We were able to win the ball back pretty swiftly and really easily. And it helped when you have Bernardo leading your diamond press, Semenyo basically right centre midfield at the right side of that diamond. Excuse me. And then it was also good from a rest defence situation, because if you have Semenyo and Bernardo and O'Reilly all in that, and Rodri, I suppose, all in that midfield, there's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of ball winning there. There's a lot of duel winners there. Lots of second ball winners there. Lots of defensive aptitude in that midfield. And lots of physicality as well. So it meant that when we lost the ball, we got it back quite quickly. I don't know what the exact stat was. So that meant we had a situation where we had 61% of the ball at Anfield. I can't really recall the last time we had. Maybe we have. Maybe I'm misremembering. But certainly, it's not just the possession. It's also the measure of the possession and what sort of possession was it. And the fact that Liverpool had no chances in the game speak for itself. We absolutely dominated proceedings for the majority of that first half. Could we have created more? Yes, I think we could have done. Did we create enough to score at least one goal? Absolutely we did. We had the Haaland chance. He should have done a lot better, like 3 minutes in. There was the relatively tricky one on the half volley, was it, where he's like running across goal. He gets a decent whack at it, but it's straight to Alisson. There are a couple of half chances from set pieces as well, from Kusanov and Gahey. So it wasn't like we were creating an amazing chances after amazing chances. But I think we created enough to score a goal in that first half. So I was quite happy with that first half performance. It was measured. It was defensively sound. You've got to remember we're also at Anfield as well. So you can't just go all guns a-blazing immediately from the off. So the first half was good. Why not off the ball? That's going to be released after the post-mortem, Salman. Don't you worry. It worked. First half. And it was good. We had proceedings. You'll notice that Liverpool did not engage with us either. There was a moment, and we didn't really engage with them actually either. Neither team were really willing to commit to the press. There was a moment where Donnarumma had the ball for about 15 seconds, and he was just stood on it, and he was waiting for Ekitike to engage, and no, they just didn't. So we had loads of time. All the time in the world, in that sense. Indigo poses a good question, and this is the last thing I want to touch on about that first half and about the shape, is that I like the shape both on and off ball, sort of. Against Liverpool anyway, it worked. The only concern I had, and we did raise it at half-time on the first, I think Spartacus raised it first of all, in fairness, Semenyo isn't naturally a number 10. He's not naturally an attacking midfielder. So, and certainly not one on his own. If he were connecting with someone else, such as Doku, Cherki, Reinders, Foden, I think he'd have a better time. But because he wasn't, because he was expected to be at the tip, and he was expected to do a lot of offensive work, and he was expected to receive the ball in relatively tight areas, which is reliant on having a very good first touch. And he was expected to roam into all these pockets of space. It's not naturally suited to the type of player he is. Now, again, this is something that Spartacus says, and I do agree with it. That role is basically purpose-built, I guess, for a player more like Foden, who is a player who wants to who is fantastic at receiving in those pockets of space and is fantastic at roaming. Foden's out of form recently, so perhaps that's why Semenyo was played there instead of Foden. It's something to bear in mind, though, if we do play like that. Is that going to be an avenue to play Foden there at longer term, perhaps? He was very good off ball, Musty, I do agree. On ball, a little bit tricky, though. Little bit tricky. But I liked a lot of what I saw from the first half. That would be my only criticism, is that the lack of converting. Haaland needed to do so much better. And attack sort of breaking down with Semenyo a little bit. Again, if that's Foden in there, for example, perhaps he does a bit better there. And Trucison says, can you see Phil starting midweek? He was given a full rest today, which is big. So perhaps we could. And maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see the exact same thing. Who knows? So that's the first half. A lot of good things happened. Built for Doku as well. I'm not going to say no. I thought about that for a long time. I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes. So I'm going to say, I know that's not helpful at all. I don't know. I don't know is the answer to that one. I can see the vision. I can see the vision. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. So, very insightful. I'll be honest. If I don't know something, I'll say it. I don't. I had to properly think about it. I don't know everything. I know very little. So yeah. First half, good. I like the first half. I liked a lot of it. Sorry. Second half. This is where my trigger warning comes into play. My warning that I gave at the start. And this is where I am going to be a bit more negative, I'm afraid. I'll talk about the good things, because we got the win. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm going to get onto the positives again about the end and how we won and how that's really important. We'll talk about the good players and performances and Donnarumma's amazing save at the end. We'll talk about that. But first of all, unfortunately, the second half was bad. And it was the exact same problem that we have been experiencing all season, I'm afraid. Liverpool decides to engage a bit more. We can't keep the ball. They get the ball. They dominate proceedings. We won, but that's still the reality. That's still the reality. It's that game, that second half, that was Spurs all over again. It was Brentford all over again. It was Brighton all over again. It was nearly Chelsea all over again. Basically, every single time it is still happening. It would be remiss to not note that and to try to and to try to put that under the under the covers, whatever you want to say. It does keep happening. Now, thankfully, as we'll get into, Liverpool did a City, and they went and they decided to back off. Actually, no, they didn't do a City. They did a City in that they basically voluntarily lost control, essentially, is what I'm trying to say there. Liverpool didn't have to do that. They took the initiative at the start of the second half, and they were creating very good chances. There was I feel like I'm missing chances, but I remember the one that sticks out in the mind is the Ekatike one. That's the one that really stands out in my mind. What other chances did they have that I'm potentially forgetting? There was a Salah one relatively early on. Yeah, there was an Ekatike header. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. There was a very good block by Gahey from a Wirtz shot. Yeah, so there were a couple, weren't there? There were a couple that I'm thinking of. And that came about because we just could not keep the ball. Unfortunately. It was quite comical. There was a moment, or rather, there was like a passage of time. I can't remember the exact minute it was to and from. I think it was for about 15 or 20 minutes. Maybe that's a bit too much. Maybe 10, 15 minutes. I'm not sure exactly. Where Gakpo had one as well. I think you're right. Yes. Where what would happen is like Liverpool would have a shot, whatever, or they'd be in offside, and the camera would show a replay of the shot or of the offside, and then by the time the camera goes back to the action, Liverpool have the ball. That happened. Oh, it was so funny. I barely saw City have any of the possession for about that 10, 15, 20 minute period, whatever it was. It was staggering to watch. It was comical. It was really weird. And that kept happening and happening and happening and happening. It was very, very funny. Well, upsetting, to be honest. And that, unfortunately, it's why my position hasn't really moved. No, exactly, Jack. And that's a brief aside. I don't care about the reaction of the crowd. Why can't I press a red button and only see the match? Why can I... Oh, that's what I want. I don't need to see the crowd reacting to an Ekatike header. I don't need to see Slot reacting to it and 5 replays of it from different angles. I don't need to see that. Why have we lost the ball? That's what I want to see. But the reality is we did lose the ball. Like, continually. And the goal was coming, I'm afraid. Now, their goal was a fantastic free kick. We can talk about that in a bit more detail. But there's no doubt that the goal was coming. It wasn't even just like, oh, that was the comparison I made. It wasn't like the Arsenal game when they went to Anfield, where Liverpool barely created anything, but they score a wonder free kick. And then that happened. Liverpool were creating a lot, and they were in the ascendancy in the match as well. So the goal had been coming, and we just couldn't keep hold of it, unfortunately. So that is the biggest negative about the match. That this has done, even though the result is beautiful, it's done nothing to alleviate my concerns, because the issues are still there. Now, it was a different result today, which is lovely, but that was the same earlier in the season. Like, we won against Brentford. The issues were still there, though. And there were a number... And we won against Fulham, but the issues were still there. And there are loads of other examples, I'm sure, that I can't really think of off the top of my head, where we win against a team, but the issues are still present. The result doesn't negate that. So that's still something to consider, I'm afraid. And it's still something that we need to resolve, and it's something that we need to sort out if we want to be properly within the title race. It's still something that we need to resolve, unfortunately. So that's the biggest negative from the game. I am gonna get into the positives of the end, of course. But it's just a shame that again, every single game's a great opportunity to prove that the second half issue isn't an issue, but the team keeps proving time and time again that it is an issue, which is a massive shame, and that is unfortunate. Their goal was beautiful. Soboslai, it's a great shot. I didn't think about it at the time, but my chat, you guys, pointed out that Donnarumma probably should have had a third man there, because Soboslai is a very good set piece threat. You're probably right, because Gary Neville said it on commentary as well. He said if there's a third player there to the right of Rodri, he does block it, so that was a shame. But regardless, the goal had been coming anyway, so I didn't really care about if there was a fault for the goal. The goal was coming anyway, regardless of how amazing the shot was, regardless of whether there was a mistake in setting up the wall. The goal had been coming, so that's a shame. I'm now and then from that point there were positives, and before I get to the positives, let me catch up on the chat right now. Big up to you, Jack. Thank you so much for supporting your boy. Love that from you. Thank you for 6 months. I would have saved their goal fares. I respect that, Jack. I respect that. Your random footballer is, big up to this goalkeeper, Roy Carroll. Yeah? Roy Carroll. Shout out to him. God, he was shit. They did a City versus Arsenal. Vert shot blocked by Gahey. That was another one. Gahey locked with the overrate. I don't think Ekitike is overrated. I think he's a great player. Yes, Gakpo had one also. At one point, Liverpool had 68% possession. Yes, they had. So that's what I was going to say. In the first half, we had 61%. Up until from minute 45 through to 75, we had 30%. So it's just, and it's the exact same pattern every game. If you watch any of my post-match analysis videos this season, you'll know that this is a problem. We need to see that block from 16 different angles, to be fair. Today is my girlfriend and its 35th month anniversary. 35th month anniversary. She's a Liverpool fan. Fortunately, Subside got her hopes up just for us to win in the end. What a game. Big up to you, Nouse. Big up to your girlfriend. Roger Onico G currently asks, Rodri was excellent today. Give Bernardo another year, says Eugene. I've just, in the off the ball video, I've recorded a section and I don't know what I think about Bernardo. He keeps making me want to change my mind. Do you think we needed the midfield sub? You mean like one of Rodri or Bernardo to come off? I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe the big win motivates them. I hope so. I absolutely hope so. But until I don't see the issues in a game, I'm gonna have it in me that, well, the issues are still there. So I need to see a game where an opponent comes out to us, presses us high, and it's not a problem for us, and we're able to deal with it. I don't think I've seen that once this season, really, outside of a couple of select games where it was that period that I keep harking back to. But generally speaking, the pattern is still there. So until I see the pattern broken, and today didn't break that pattern because it still happened, I'm going to be concerned. I'm gonna stick with my concern. Petition to change the title to 3-1 City since we were robbed of the third. That's fairs. Oh, dearie me. I think it's different. Same sorts of problems, yes, but to show the minerals we did to hold out Anfield and drag ourselves back was huge. No, the problems are still the same. The problems are we lose the ball all the time in the second half because opponents come onto us. That is an undisputable reality of today's game, I'm afraid. Rodri's not been back long enough to rate him yet. Yeah, hopefully next season will be a thing. I'm better than shut up, Jack. We don't even touch the ball in the second half, says Archel, and that's for the reasons that I've outlined. Yes, we don't normally come back, I feel like, but yeah, we did today, so big up to us for that, absolutely. Samir seemed to struggle in the middle. Poor first touch, bad off-ball movement. Yeah, his first touch isn't the best. It's not the best. It's not bad, but it's not the best. It's not Shirky or Foden or Doku, as you say. You're in a toxic relationship with Bernardo. Brilliant. Me and Bernardo are having an affair, but no one's ready for that conversation. Amazing. Is one more season Bernardo and Anderson possible? I don't know what we're gonna do. I wonder if we'll. In my heart is saying extend by a year, but my head is saying you need to move on. You need to move on. I don't know what the answer is, man. I don't know what the answer is. Was O'Reilly's role today? So he was at the left side of the diamond, wasn't he? Both on and off ball. So he was tasked with, I suppose, like trying to win second balls on that left side, especially. He rotated with Semenyo a couple of times also. It wasn't really his role to be like a left-sided outlet. That was more so Ait-Nouri today. So he allowed Ait-Nouri to push on as well. So he enabled that. So big up to him. Yeah, so where did we get up to in the chronology? Soboslai goal. We touched on, could Donnarumma have done his wall a bit better? It's an unbelievable finish. And then what happened? So here is... And look, a lot of foot mob stats need to be taken with a pinch of salt, but one of my favourite foot mob stats is the momentum chart. And because normally I find the momentum charts match up to what my eyes tell me. And I think this is an amazing illustration of it. So as you can see, so this is basically what we were saying. First half, nearly all City. Okay, there was a period around the 35th minute mark where Liverpool got some action in the game. They are at home at Anfield after all. But at the end of the day, first half, it was basically total control. That first half chart is total City domination. As soon as the second half starts, look, there's nothing for City. There's a tiny little bit just before the second big up thing, but I can't even really remember what that was. But the further down it goes, the more dangerous it is. There's nothing for City in that second half. Absolutely nothing for City. Liverpool get their goal, blah, 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 blah. But notice what happens. Okay, there's a little escalation after the goal. They came forward a little bit. But notice what happens around the 80th minute mark. So around 10 minutes to go. What do Liverpool... And I don't think that unfortunately, I don't think this is really like, what did City do? I think this is, what did Liverpool do? They backed off in around the 80th minute. Is that when? Yeah, so that blue curve starts in the 81st minute. So yeah, 80th, 81st minute. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I am fuming. Because that's clearly an instruction by Slot to back off and play out for a 1-0 win and just try to hit us on the counter-attack. That is... that Slot masterclass. I think that is horrendous in-game management by Slot. I think that's so bad. I can't... Let me know, guys, if you can. I can't point to a thing that City did in the 80th minute to reclaim that dominance. City didn't, like, make any... We didn't make any changes, did we, at that point? No, we made the changes in the 60th minute, and the issues were still there, really. By the way, I hope Kusanov's okay. So big up to Kusanov. I really hope he's all right, because he had a massive concussion issue. City didn't really have to do anything. City didn't have to really do anything. Which is good for us. Again, this is why I'm not wanting to get too sucked into being overly positive. Because I'm very positive about the result. Buzzing about the result. Even this, though, and what led to us doing well, it was Liverpool gifted it to us. It was very unusual from them. We didn't have to do anything. They just backed off. And they stopped pressing us, and they stopped coming out. I'd love to see the PPDA, the passes per defensive action, passes per defensive action stats. I'll get hold of that. I'd love to see, because there must have been a massive drop-off around the 80th minute. And I just can't comprehend why they did that. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I am fuming. I am fuming that they did that. Because that is just negligent. That is negligent. But what did we do? And this is where we can credit ourselves, and this is where we can be happy. Because we took advantage of that. Okay, Liverpool opened the door for us, but we still had to walk through it. And walk through it we did. We came forward, we pinned them back, and we can say that the Shirky cross is lucky because it does take a big deflection, and it does. But Haaland has to win it in the air, and Bernardo has to gamble as well. So that is where City deserve big credit. Because, okay, it takes two to tango. Liverpool did a bad. They did a stinky. But the other team has to take advantage. And we did. So big up to Bernardo for being in the right place at the right time and gambling and taking that on. Amazing work. And then from there, it was just basically all City, wasn't it? We kept coming forwards. Bernardo played the ball in behind. Núñez is fouled, and it is a foul. In my Jack Chill, and it is a foul. And then Donnarumma makes an amazing save as well. So across the whole second half, we didn't deserve to win the game. But one could argue that the negative approach from Liverpool deserved to be punished. And we did punish them. And then from there, we were the ones who were taking the game to them, and we were the ones trying to win. Hey, in the second half, it's not like we were trying to be bad. We just were. All right? It wasn't intentional. We were just stinky. Whereas what Liverpool did was a conscious decision to be stinky. And that deserved to be punished. So yeah. So I think we can praise ourselves for that. Even if Liverpool opened the door, we still had to take advantage. So big up. So big up to us for doing that. So big up to Bernardo. In like the final 10 minutes, big up to Donnarumma, big up to Bernardo, big up to Haaland. And that's the thing to say as well, because I think that a lot of our players, like Haaland especially, I don't think Haaland had a good game. But he got an assist. And he scored the high-pressure penalty. So, you know what I mean? It's like Donnarumma. I actually don't think Donnarumma had a good game overall across the 90 minutes. But he made a very good save towards the end. And that's got City the win. So I think the two had relatively comparable games. And is that why City perhaps have a better chance of winning the Champions League, ? Because that's more about moments rather than necessarily 90 minutes of football. Because again, Haaland especially kept losing the ball, wasn't holding it up very well in that first half. Had a bit of a nothing game for the majority of that second half. Wasn't physical enough, wasn't combative enough with Van Dijk. When we were having to go long, he wasn't holding it up very well. He had to win second balls more so, wasn't the thing. Donnarumma, in fairness, had nothing. There was that one moment in the first half where he just got it totally wrong from the free kick or corner, and that was very nearly a goal for Liverpool. Second half, he kept hoofing it. We kept losing it. But then came up towards the end, and Haaland came up towards the end. So I don't think either player had a good game overall, but as Jack says there, they were there when we needed them most, absolutely. And they were there when it mattered the most in that moment. Which is very good on an individual game basis. The question which I've been asking myself since the start of the season is that going to win you the league title? Now, that remains to be seen. As of yet, the answer is no. Could it be enough to win a trophy, however, such as the Champions League, on a day, given the fact that a game can be won on a moment in the Champions League? Absolutely, it could be done. And that's why we probably do have a better chance of winning the Champions League than the Premier League. That's just a little food for thought and something to note. I touched on that a little bit in the Off the Ball video as well. Because again, like, these are the players who in theory are, elites in their respective box. And I don't think that either were elite across the full 90. But again, the moment is the thing. So that's like my summation of the game. We will do player ratings in like 15 minutes or so, but I feel like I've neglected the chat. So let me come to the chat now. We can have a chat about that. Is there anything like I've missed? If you want me to talk about a specific player, we can talk about that more so when we're doing like the individual player ratings. But let me know what you make of that. In the end, he got out-bottled. Brilliant. Where do you want your statue, honestly? I can't believe how much he bottled that, man. Do you give Spartacus Don should have set up a third in the wall on Soboslai's free kick? I think so. I think even like Gary Neville was saying that. In fairness, Soboslai is an amazing free kick taker. You probably want to err on the side of caution. So to only have two is a choice. And as Gary Neville outlined on commentary, if there was a player to the right of Rodri, the goal doesn't go in. So I think it is valid to question the decision-making of that wall construction there. But we should have conceded the goal before that. So I'm not focused. I don't want to hyper-focus on that one moment, but it's fair to say that arguably was an error. Grab the game by the balls. Amazing. Jack, chill. Yeah, Bernardo was my man of the match, by the way. Let me know who your man of the match was. For me, it's Bernardo. The best player across the 90 minutes. Also scored a goal. I was going to say he didn't even have a moment, but he actually did. He scored the first goal. So yeah, he had the moment, and he was just excellent across the whole 90. So I do think the correct answer is Bernardo. Okay, Haaland got a goal and assist, and that's lovely, but he was a little bit stinky across the whole 90. Donnarumma got the fantastic save at the end. The issues that I've outlined. So I'd go Bernard personally. I think Ait Nouri is a good shout as well. I know he didn't get a goal contribution, but Ait Nouri was big. I thought he had a big game. Big. That's crazy, crazy. Give Bernardo credit for the cross to Nunes for the penalty. Yeah. I think Shirky put the ball in for the first goal, so maybe that's what people are talking about, i.e., which took a big deflection, but still. Just on Shirky, because people are having a go at him, this was something that I said in the game, and this was me saying it not to have a go at Shirky when we were getting dominated. I said, I forgot that Shirky was on the pitch. But that wasn't his fault. It was because we just couldn't even get the ball remotely close to him because of the issues that I've outlined. So he came on in the 60th minute, but he was a non-factor for the vast majority of the game because we couldn't actually get him the ball. That's not a Shirky failing. That's more so just a general team failing. TBH. What about Semenyo? Yes, we touched on him. Tricky game. A tricky game. Provided a lot of off-ball value, but wasn't tidy enough. Gahey and Bernardo, says Archel. I'd have given Gahey, but I didn't like how easily he got done by Salah for that foul. He makes the correct decision in pulling him back, but he shouldn't have gone into that position in the first place. That's just notched him down just a little bit, because that could have been a big moment. That could have been a big moment there. That was a little bit of a stinky moment from him. But otherwise, yeah, Gahey was lovely, wasn't he? Trafford or Don. I'm seeing little cracks with Don, but he's also had some big saves. For me, I think that if you make Trafford your longer-term goalkeeper, a lot of the issues that we've seen this season probably go away. Don has had some amazing big moments, but the problem is he's had some amazing big moments for good and bad. Trafford equally has had some amazing moments both for good and bad. So I think I've convinced myself that I'm very upset that we're losing Trafford, basically. To be honest with you. Marmouche, yeah, he struggled. He struggled, to be honest with you. For the most part. Yeah, definitely Bernard. Big up to him. Bernardo. Dicky. Scored, created the pen. Overall, very impressive. Yeah, he ran it back, didn't he? He ran it back. Liverpool fans saying they got robbed because Gahey should have had a red. I don't agree, because it's got to be a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. And it wasn't that. It was, it was close to being that, but it wasn't an obvious goal-scoring opportunity by the letter of the law. So it is a yellow card. Gahey, gets very fortunate that, well, I guess it's his decision to make the foul, because I think if Salah goes in behind, then who knows. But yes, it's not a red card for me, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's bad from Gahey to be in that situation in the first place, but it's not a red card for me. No. I'm not having that. I actually think that the on-field decisions were very good today. In the biggest moments anyway, I actually think that the on-field decisions were all pretty spot on. There was like another penalty shout where Bernardo touches Salah and he falls over. That's not a penalty. No way. No, he's begging it at that point. There's no way for me. No shot. Shoki's going to set up possession games, not transition. I agree, William. I think he can also be very good in transitional games, but I totally agree that generally speaking, you're not going to get the best out of him in a back and forth game. He's not necessarily got the engine for that, and I think it'd be better to have him in a more controlled game state. I do agree. Entertainment business, definitely. Yes. Ait Nouri energizes the sides. Yes. Oh no, well, but he Oh no, the on field he called it. I was talking, but the VAR overruled it. So that's why I specified the on field refereeing decisions, because I quite liked that. Because he gave it as a goal. Apart from the office being the stands are closer to the pitch, why does Anfield look so suffocating and small, asks Salmon. Well, not all pitches are, as I understand it, not all pitches are the same size. So like Bournemouth's pitch, is way smaller than the Etihad's. I think the Etihad's pitch is the biggest in the Premier League. I might be wrong there. Which is mad to me. You'd think that you'd have to have a uniform size pitch. There must be some parameters. There must be like some, you can't have like a pitch which is 1 meter long, obviously. There's got to be some minimums and maximums, but yeah, it's very interesting that. I guess it makes it interesting for, because it suits the Etihad, and I guess Camp Nou as well, teams, grounds like this. You want the pitch to be as big as possible because you are a possession-based team and you want to stretch your opponent. Whereas if you are a team who are more defensive and are worse, it's better to have a smaller pitch. Because now all of a sudden the game is more compact and you can defend your box a lot easier. So I guess it's good for that, because now teams can decide how big they want their pitches to be within reason. That's just like an interesting thing to note. Just an interesting thing to note. And maybe that's why it's not a denial of an obvious opportunity, Jack. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you are absolutely right there. Roger was mint. Yes, he was. Como will enlarge their pitch. That's class. Yeah, there must be some FIFA standards, but there are, like, as Jack says, there are different lengths and widths, 100%. Pitch analysis wasn't on my bingo card. Well, now it is, yeah? Now it is. Now you know, and now you know. Yeah, now you know, guys. Anfield's the smallest in the league. Really? Huh. That's interesting. Ipswich has entered the chat. Craven Cottage is the smallest in the league. I'm getting conflicting information here. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe, or what's going on, or what is my life? Anfield done double, absolutely. Yes, Clark. No one's talking about Nunes' game. Say, yeah, no, Nunes was really good as well. Absolutely. We'll talk about the individuals in more detail when we get to the player ratings. Don't you worry. We can absolutely do that. What's the biggest pitch? It's got to be one of the Manchester clubs, right? Or maybe Spurs with their new stadium. I'm thinking Old Trafford because it's the biggest stadium. I feel like the Etihad's also got to be up there. Is this the parameters? Thank you, Blue Cactus. These are the parameters. So yeah, so there's quite a bit of wiggle room. I mean, only a couple yards in it, but still, tiny details and tiny margins at the elite level can matter. So that's interesting to note. Thank you for that, Blue Cat Bar. Thank you very much for your super chat as well, matey. Yeah, so that was the match. Anything else to touch on before we do the player ratings? Liverpool were a bit stinky. I thought Canate had a good game, actually. I felt Canate had a good game. Salah played that one great Trivella, but he was a bit stinky outside of that. Ekatike, the finishing was bad. Passing was bad. Wirtz had that one little dink, and apart from that, it was a bit of a whatever. Szoboszlai had a weird game because he scored the goal, he got cooked by Aït-Nouri, he got red carded, and he played Bernardo Silva onside. So I don't know what was going on with Szoboszlai's game. Kerkez, I felt, actually had a really good game, and I had to go at him in my preview. So big up to Kerkez. Alisson was shit. Oh my god, that might be the worst, like one of the worst Alisson games I've ever seen. Just couldn't believe it. I don't know what he's doing for so many of those moments. Like that one where he nearly clattered. That Nunes clattering was foreshadowed by when he came out to engage with Marmoush and he nearly twatted him as well. Yeah, McAllister, a bit of a non-fat. Yeah, their midfield balance is just all over the place. We touched it with Samuel, didn't we? On Friday. Big up to Samuel, by the way. Big analyst in the Liverpool space. My gosh, they were bad. Properly bad today. And Arne Slot didn't help with his subs either. He just didn't help with anything with the change of style either. Crazy work. Just insane. I didn't even realise that's what he did. So that's what he did. At 1-1, he brought on Jones and took off Gakpo. Why did he do that? What was the thought process there? I'll lose a wide outlet and I'll bring on Curtis Jones to okay. Hadley, thank you so much. You already support on the Twitch. Amazing. Welcome to the Ultras Club on YouTube. Thank you so much, Hadley, for supporting the channel. Big up to you. Your random football. It's an L pull, I'm afraid. It's Tom Cleverley. It's an L pull. Yeah, what was the point? And by the way, I like Curtis Jones, by the way. I think he's a good player. I think he's a solid player. Is that the play you make when the opponent equalizes? You take off Gakpo, an attacker, you bring on a midfield. Is that the play? I feel like that's not the play. Yeah, it's just bizarre. Oh, Cleverly, terrible manager. Yeah, it's bizarre. Big up to you, Hadley. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Love that from you. So Liverpool, weird. I'll speak to Tom Little, see what he thought about it as well, because that was I know they're relatively limited on their options. You know, they're bringing on Chiesa to try to get a goal. Fine. They don't have Frimpong. They don't have Isak, whatever. Lovebug, thank you so much also for supporting the channel. Love that from you. There's you and your beautiful baby. Thank you so much. And your random footballer. Oh, it's a much better pull. Oh, gosh, what a player he was. Gareth Bale. And it's the Spurs Gareth Bale. That is a pull. That is a beautiful pull. That's nice. Thank you so much, Lovebug, for your support. Love that from you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Shall we get into the player ratings, guys? Or was there anything else that we wanted to discuss before we do that? Let me know. Let me know. I'll just catch up on the chat as I'm doing this. Konate was very good. Yeah, Konate was probably Liverpool's best player. Yeah, Konate was better than Van Dijk. I totally agree. Totally agree. I know people hating on Haaland for the past few games, but he does not get any chances. Only player who everyone expects to be perfect with the little chances he gets. He is in the top 1% for big chances received, and so I don't think I agree. There are some games where we could be doing more for him, but generally speaking, we create more than enough for Haaland to score. Smudge, thank you so much also for supporting the channel. Is that, I don't know what that's a picture of. Is that Graham Souness? It looks like Graham Souness and Father Ted. I don't know what that is, but thank you. And Spartacus, thank you so much for renewing your membership as well. Oh my gosh, you've got your random footballer. Smudge is Fonte, Liverpool legend. And Spartacus, yours is Lucas Vazquez. I'll come to your comments in a second, Spartacus. Should Reinters have featured? I was surprised he didn't start. But we wanted to go with different routes, so that's reasonable. Don's kicks made me think of your distribution thing, but that was a save. And this is the question, isn't it? This is always going to be the question. We know what the trade-off is. The trade-off is you are going to suffer. Your build-up is going to suffer massively, but you are going to have a goalkeeper who is capable of making elite saves. You're also going to have a goalkeeper capable of a lot of other things. So the question is that trade-off worth it? So far, I don't have enough evidence to conclude either way. I don't think it's fair to conclude either way yet. I still need to be convinced before saying it's going to be worth it. Right now, I'm erring towards, no, it's not been worth it. But I think it's unfair to conclude absolutely either way. I think it's a bit foolish to absolutely conclude. I will agree with you, True Citizen, that as a concept, I don't like the trade-off, but especially because there were other options out there. But I'm willing to wait and not just say no, it's shit, because I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's a fair thing to say. So I will wait. LB Raid, big up to LB, absolute queen. Absolute queen. Thank you so much, matey. It wasn't, and this was something I did say in the video, that it's not a trade that had to be made. Yeah, thank you so much, Smudge, for joining. Thank you, Spartacus, Lovebug, Hadley, all for joining. We had a little hype train going there. Thank you so much, guys. We'll get into the play ratings in a second. So this is from Spartacus. Look at that. Prints out his message and everything. Yeah, what is that a picture of, Smudge? Is that Graham Souness? I can't tell. It's someone with a mustache. Or is it Tom Selleck? I don't even know. Oh, it is Graham Souness. I'm a City and Glasgow Rangers fan. Just want to support your channel. Love that from you so much. Thank you so much for your support. Great mustache, absolutely. Big up to LB for the raid. That's my queen. This is from Spartacus. Did we deserve the win? No. Do we have issues? Yes. Does Don live at the core of mostly? Can't sweep, is bad at corners, can't pass, bad at crosses, but is great at saving at times. Is this world class? I've made my thoughts on that clear, and it's why it's such a point of contention in the City community, and I don't think it's reasonable to absolutely conclude either way. I think we have to wait and see. Time will tell. Unfortunately, the only way we will find out is through time. Yeah, big up to LB, big up LB, yes. Big up to you, Super. Queen Bee, yes. Should that be his nickname now? Queen Bee. Liam Byrne. Yeah, great mustache. Absolutely a great mustache. If you can sort out the corners, it's worth it, perhaps, but even the corners isn't my biggest concern. You guys know what my concern is, and it's the thing that's linked with the second half drop-offs. It is the knock-on domino effect of the poor build-up play, which isn't just a one-player problem, but it is systemic of a wider problem. Even like today, for example, we had a very physical team, lots of players capable of winning second balls and that sort of thing, but we weren't able to do that. Bro's still live. These are live for 90 minutes, Tony. No. We were fantastic first half. I agree. Very cute dog, by the way. What's it called? Big up. Call it Bernardo. For me. Change its name by Deepol, yeah? Do it. I demand you. Oh, gosh. Yeah, sorry, I'll do play ratings in a second. All the beautiful member stuff just distracted me for a second. And buzzing won at the Burnabout and Anfield. Yeah, that's so funny. And this is why I keep coming back to, is that why this team is more designed to win something like the Champions League? Because I don't think we were that good at the Burnabout. I don't think we deserved to win at the Burnabout. But we did. I don't know how reasonable the comparison is to Anfield, because I felt that we were better. I felt we were better at Anfield today. But you know what I mean? I don't think that we definitely should have won today, and we definitely should have won at the Burnabout. But we did. And they're two of the biggest games of a team's calendar, yeah? So if we can win there because we were better in the moments, why can't we win the Champions League? You guys know that I'm still on the we're not winning the Premier League train. I'm not off the we can't win the, sorry, I'm not off the Champions League train though. Why can't we? All you have to do is be better in the moments. We have the players to be better in the moments. I'm just saying. We we gave up chances. Second half start was dire. Positive was not conceding an open play from a class free kick. Absolutely, Hadley. Absolutely right. We did concede a few open play chances, but I totally get where you're coming from. I agree. If we can't build up second half and we just kick it to the opposition, it just invites more pressure. Yes, I do need that to. I do need that to get better. That was my Super Bowl. Love that, Fenway. There's no cud about it, the stuff, in fairness. So we've seen it. We have seen it, to be fair. I changed my mind on Don, says Sean, that's fair enough. Yes, I do agree. Yeah. And it's not Shirky's fault. Shirky's a player who will thrive if we have a lot of the ball and can get him the ball. It might be a thing. It might be a thing. I'm just saying. It could be a thing. Negative Nobbins thinks City can win the Champions League. Happy Clapper Nobbins thinks we can win the Champions League. What's going on? Yeah, this is a really good summation. I think this is a really intelligent comment. Yeah. Shirky couldn't play his football today. Totally agree. Okay, let's do player rating, shall we? This is going to be a tricky one, I think. Big up to Queen Bee for the raid. I'm going to text him now, actually. I'm going to say... I'm going to say... Where is he? Cheers. Cheers for the raid, Queen Bee. I'm going to do a little love heart emoji as well. I'll tell you what he says. Happy Clapper Nobbins might be right. He went, anytime, bruh. We on tomorrow. No! Yeah, in brackets and lowercase. There we go. Right, play ratings. I do these on the Finalysis app. If you guys want to join me, download the Finalysis app. If you don't, and you just want to take part on the stream, then you can do that as well. Yeah, this is going to be a tricky one to judge. Because I play like... I have no idea what I'm going to rank Haaland, for example. I'll come to that when I come to it. But I don't think he had I think he had a bad game. But he scored and got an assist. So it's going to be a tricky one. I don't really know how I'm going to approach that. But we've got a fair few players to go before we do that. So... Smudge, thank you so much for upgrading your membership. I love that from you. In the same channel you become one, you upgrade. Thank you, mate. Love that from you. You get an extra video a month by upgrading, by the way, so big up. Your random football... Oh, you get two, because you upgraded. Is Mason Holgate. Bit of an L pull, but you're a W guy. Yeah, guys. Let's start at the start, and let's understand the scoring system. If you're gonna... Now, I'm gonna put my ratings from 0 to 100. You can stick them with 0 to 10. Just make sure you're using decimals. So don't round. So if you say 5.1, I know that means 51 in my head. 50 is average. 60 is above average. 70 is good. 80 is great. 9 is excellent. 10 is perfect. I'll repeat one more time. 50, average. 60, above average. 70, good. 80, great. 90, brilliant or excellent. 10 is perfect. So let's start with Donnarumma. This is going to be a hard one to rank, I think, because there's no doubt that the save at the end was wonderful. It was a gorgeous save, and it made us stick to... It kept us at 2-1. That's a lovely thing. The problem with the ranking is that we don't just consider one moment, we consider the whole game. Horrible moment in the first half, where he came out for no real reason and it was very nearly a Liverpool goal. We've touched on the bad issues with the second half, which led to us not having control. And then there's also which we haven't really touched on. I've mentioned it, but we haven't really had a dialogue about it. Should he have put a third man in the wall, yes or no, is the question, I guess. It's a question I don't know the answer to, because I'm not a goalkeeper and I don't know where the I don't know how many players you should have. As something I've never actually even considered it. Szoboszlai's an amazing free kick taker. Should he have put 3 men in the wall rather than 2? If the answer to that question is yes, then that is an error that has created a goal. So I don't know. So I think he and Haaland, I think, are the hardest players to rank over a game, because I want to give him a very high. I want to give him a very high grade, but I don't know. It's going to be a positive ranking, but I think I'm good. I think it's going to start more so with a 7 rather than an 8. Because of everything that I've just touched on there. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? 10, 9. No, we're not doing Bernardo yet. We're doing Donnarumma right now. 8 because the saves kept us in it. 65. I think this is gonna be a really split grade. 9, 6, 6.5, 70, 60, 6.5, 100, 4.5, 9. Yeah, this is hard. 7, 5, B+, 45, 6.7, 7 or 8, 7.5, 7, but could be an 8 for the save. I don't know what the right answer is. I think something beginning with a 7 is fair. I think. This is on the Finalysis app. Finalysis. I think had there been an extra man or 2 in the wall, Szoboszlai changed the way he shoots. I don't know if it's easy to say. It's a good point, Jack, yeah. I guess it just denies an avenue that he can score from. I'm not going to say it's an out-and-out error. I'm going to go 75. I'm stuck in two minds. A game isn't... I know we were just saying how can City win the Champions League based on a moment. I don't base my player ratings off one moment, though. So I'm going to go 75. So I think that's fair. I think that's fine. This is Donnarumma and Hulk. I think that's fine, because I think that's acknowledging the amazing save he made, but it's also acknowledging the less than stellar stuff. I think that's acceptable. I think that's a good grade. I think that's fair. Okay, guys, Gahey. Another one. Another player who had a... Well, no, not another player. A player who had a fantastic 90 minutes, essentially. Yeah, so many moments 1v1 against Ekitike, where he dealt with them really well. That was fantastic. He had to deal with Salah a lot as well, because he was the left centre-back. I thought he dealt with Salah quite well. He did allow Salah to run across him, but even though he made the initial error, he then made the correct decision by making the foul, I guess. So that's good. What were his defensive numbers saying? How did he do in the air, for example? 3 out of 4 aerial duels won. That's great. That's something that I'm looking at this season, you know, especially with Diaz, but also Gahey, I suppose, because he was criticised for not being that good aerially. I think, yeah, this is a good summation. Yeah, he dealt with many tricky situations well, definitely, yeah. I think this is going to be quite a high... I'm going to go... I think that he had... I'm thinking either I'm thinking a low 8, personally. I'm going to go 80. I'm going to go clean 80. I think that he had a great game. A great game by Gahey. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. I think that's good. Yeah, it's a good point, Clark. If you make the initial error, make the tactical foul. And he did. So I'm actually going to praise him for that, in fairness. Even though he allowed him to run off him, it's a neutral. Nothing came of the free kick anyway. So I think 8's good. 8, great. I think he had a great game. Consider the booze! Yeah, it was actually, he actually had a 12. He actually had a 12. Consider the booze. That's a great comment. Okay. Aitnori is my... if I can remember to do this, I'm gonna keep doing this. Nori was my low-key man of the match. He was not my man of the match. That's Bernardo. Nori was low-key it, though. He wasn't involved directly in a goal, but in the first half especially, he was wonderful. He was a constant thorn in the side of Szoboszlai. He must have been so fucked off seeing him come forward every single time. Defensively sound, I felt. Can't recall. I think Salah's best moments actually came more so from the left side rather than the right. Sorry, from City's right side rather than the left, and Liverpool's left rather than our right, their right, our left. So Nori did really well there. He was really good. You can tell that he has played at like left wing before, because like when he comes forward, he doesn't look like a defender. He doesn't look out of place in the final third. He just is so competent with his dribbling as well. And loads of times where like he was able to draw a foul, kill the game, slow the tempo down a bit when we perhaps needed it to do so. Yes, we did struggle at building out from the back, but Nori was not a factor for that. He will be a really useful tool for that. So I'm going to give him something beginning with an 8 because I felt that he actually had a stronger game than Gahey. So I'm going to go... I'm not going to put it into the 9 because I think for a defender, I need like some sort of goal contribution maybe. But I'm thinking 82. I'm thinking like an 82 or like a low 8 for Nori. What are you guys saying? 90, 80, 90. Give him 85 plus. Low 8 or high 7. I'm thinking low 8. 7.9 or 8. I give an 8.5. Oh, sorry, that's Gahey. 8.4. 9.1. 7.7. 88. 8.5. 8. He's so good, I agree. 87. Yeah. Oh, actually, this is a good point. This is why I'm not going to give him a mid to high 8. Because I know it didn't matter, but at 2-1 up, he should have crossed it. He should have played in either Haaland or Shirky, and he opted to shoot. So I'm going to knock down some grades for that because that was the wrong decision. And if you make the wrong decision, the action has to be perfect, and it wasn't. So he's getting knocked down a couple grades there. So it could have been like an 84. I'm dropping it down to an 82 as a consequence. Cool. Nunes. Another good game from him. He had a bit of a blip. Against Spurs. That was his worst game this season. Did he do anything wrong today? I can't really remember Gakpo existing. He won the penalty. Yes, he did. He made the run as well, which is big. If you don't make the run, you don't get the penalty. So yes, that's gonna bump his grade up quite a bit, actually. He won all his ground duels. His passing was excellent. His defending was really good. Gakpo played. Exactly, mate. Exactly. I was... really strong performance by Nunes. Really strong. Gone under the radar by me as well. Gone under the radar by me. Didn't make any errors. Good moments. I'm thinking a high 7. What are you guys saying? 70. 8.5. Oh, sorry. I'm still on Nori there. 7.5, 6.1. 88 because he won the penalty. Kafuna, 7.5. 75 to 78. One great pass to Semenyo. I loved it. 7.8 for Cafunes. 8. 8. I gave him 85. Got beat a couple of times, but nothing too consequential. 7.8. 7.7. City win the treble. Love that from you. 8. 8 was solid. 8.1 because of the penalty. I'm going to give him 79. No, 78. Because I gave Gahey 80. I don't think that Nunes had as good a game as Gahey, so I'm going to go 78. I think that's good. Kusanov, tricky one to judge because he was only on the pitch for 60 minutes, so the minutes tax is going to probably do a thing. But I thought it was like... I thought it was perfectly fine. I thought it was all right. Can't recall any issues that he had, realistically. Obviously, he put his body on the line to prevent that Gakpo chance. Unfortunately, Don, the knee hit his face and he had to come off for concussion. Not his fault. It's not his problem at all. I think because it's such a tricky one to judge, I'm thinking something. A big up to you, Ventura, for subscribing to the channel. I'm thinking something. Not. I can't have it as high as the other defenders, obviously, but it can't be low at the same time. 76, 6.8, 75. Kusanov was great, not as good as Gahey, but 75. Kusanov steady 75. 7, 7.5. 6.7, no intentions. I don't know, Tony. I don't time out people. My mods do. 6.8. Kusanov 8+1 for bravery. Yeah, he was very brave. 7 because I thought he was solid. Realistically, 7.4 to 7.5. 7 because he's solid. Yeah, Colin. Yeah, definitely. Did miss a header. 7.5, 7.9, 6.5. I want to give him a 70 because I think he had a good game. A good game. If he was on the pitch a bit more, that can get bumped up a little bit. But I think that's fair given that context. Rodders had a wonderful game. He was very, 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 very lovely. Scooping up loose balls, scooping up second balls. Nice passer, as I say. Instrumental at the base of that diamond. There's that one time where Virtus did him a little bit, and Rodri sort of ended up on the floor. Apart from that, I can't really recall Rodri doing anything wrong. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of, Enshulk. Yeah, the Virtus situation. Outside of that, I felt he had a really good game. He was very, very lovely. And yeah. What are you guys saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? 8. 8.5. 8.5. 8.5. 8.5. 8. 8.4. 75. 8. 8.4. 8 with no yellow, true. 6.7, that's quite low. He looked better off ball. Yes, I definitely agree with that, true assistant. Yeah, defensively really sounds today. 7 says Sammy. 8.3. 8.5. I think for me, he had a better game than Nunes, but not a better game than Ait-Nouri. So I'm gonna, and I gave Nunes a 78, and I gave Ait-Nouri an 82. But do I think he was better than Gahey? Maybe not. I'm gonna give him a 79 based on that. I'm gonna go 79. Better than Nunes, worse than Gahey. That's around where I would rank it. That's what I'm going with. I don't think Rodri had a better game than Gahey, no. So I gave Gahey an 80 and I've given Rodri a 79 as a consequence of that. I do find it helpful to go back and look at my past rankings if I'm struggling with one. I try to compare and go, how do I think you were better than you? Blah, 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 that sort of thing. I think it's just because you were spamming your ratings, Tony. Just give your answer once, yes? Just give your answer once. 8.5, 8, 7, 79. Yeah, 79 is good. Yeah, I think so. Bernardo. Guys, I'm not going to lie. This is going to be the highest rating I give. This is going to be the highest rating I give. Even without the goal. Even without the goal. Man of the match. But he did score the goal, and he gambled, and that goes back into the game. That's the most important goal from the game, for City's POV. First half was excellent, running all over the place, as he always does. Should have had an assist in the first 2 or 3 minutes as well. Yeah, my captain, yeah? Exactly. Should have had an assist. Haaland needed to do better. Gambled on the goal. Provided a lot of off-ball solidity. He also rotated really well with Semenyo when we went to on-ball versus off-ball, playing as the attacking midfielder off-ball, moving to the right central midfield off-ball. He is just this amazing Swiss Army knife of a footballer. It's just staggering how versatile he is. I just can't. I don't think there's anyone really like him in football, and unfortunately, there is no replacement for him. This is a bit like a Kevin De Bruyne situation. We can't really directly replace De Bruyne. We can't directly replace Bernardo Silva. we can bring in another body. Like Shirky's been brought in to replace De Bruyne from a body's POV, but he will never be De Bruyne. And it's the same with Bernardo. We can bring in Anderson to replace Bernardo Silva as a body, but it's chalk and cheese. It's night and day. He's even when he's like a washed unk, he can still do this. He's still got his uses, and he's. Who was it earlier that said who said they're in a toxic relationship with Bernardo? That is me as well. I am there, and it was like me and De Bruyne last year. It's just. The heart says give him another year. I don't know if that's the clever decision though. But that's what my heart is saying. Kinel Bernardo. And I want to big apologies are required by me because I was very concerned at the idea of Bernardo playing a lot of football this season when he was named as captain. I was like, yeah, he's definitely a captain, but I don't think he should be playing that much this season. So I was very wrong on that. I'm going to hold my hands up massively there because that was something I kept saying before a ball was kicked, and I got that well wrong. So I apologise to Bernardo for that. It's not because I don't like him, obviously, but I felt that we need to move on. We need to be using Reinders more so. Reinders hasn't been the player I thought he was going to be necessarily. Bernardo's had to step in and fill that void. And I got it wrong. I got it well wrong. So I'm so happy that he's proven me so abject in that sense. What am I going to rate him, man? What are you guys saying? I don't know if this is gonna go into a 9 for me. I think it's gonna be a high 8. So let me. You guys might be able to change my mind though. Let's see what you think. 11, 8.8, 10, 8.9, 9.2, 8.5, 89, 85, 9, 9, 9.5. Lifetime contract, 9.2, 8.5. 1 more year, baby. 9, 8. Fulmar gave him an 8. Yeah. The rating sites are not especially good. I'd love to compare mine to FootMobs and Sofa Scores, etc., because they just do like an algorithm or whatever. 95. Bernardo here, there, and everywhere. 8.6. I don't know whether to go 89 or 90. No. It's a high 8 from me. It's a high 8. High 8. I don't know why. I don't feel comfortable giving him a 9. I don't know why. Nah, fuck it. It's a 9. 90. Yeah, because he played the ball for Nunes to get the penalty as well, didn't he? And he scored the goal. And he was just excellent generally. Yeah, it's a 9. Yeah. It's a 9. It's a 9. It's a 9 from me. It's a 9 from me. The hands are up. The hands are up. It's a 9 from me. Nico O'Reilly. Let's get into this. Relative to our other midfielders, like a relatively quiet game from O'Reilly. Wasn't bad by any means. Just wasn't exceptional. But I thought he was solid. I thought it was a solid game from him. I thought it was a relatively boring game, and I mean that as a compliment. It was quite solid from him. So that's nice. That's a good thing. What are you guys saying for him? Thank you so much, Smudge. Incredibly generous from you. You've already become a fanatic ultra as well, so thank you so much. Oh! Bernardo love! No, I couldn't get the heart done in time. I panicked. Oh, dear. That's me. I should have done the heart for Bernardo. Oh, I panicked. Thank you so much, Smudge. If you super chat £10 or more, that happens in case you're wondering. Thank you so much, guys. It's been very generous today. I don't remember O'Reilly doing anything substantial, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking a 7. I'm thinking like a straight up 7. Yeah, I'm thinking of copying Jessica Lovebug. I'm thinking a classic 7 from him. Yeah, I think he had a good game. Yeah, steady, steady, steady. Steady, steady, steady from him. Right, Marmouche. Maybe he's going to get the lowest ranking. Maybe. Because he can't even fall back on having a goal contribution. And he also only played 60 minutes. And that's a thing. He did give away the ball a lot, I feel like. A little bit lax in that sense. A little bit lax, perhaps. He struggled against... I think Kanate has an amazing game, and Marmouche struggled against him. Cracking game it was. 7.3. Sorry, we're on Marmouche now. 6.1, 7.5. Omar, 5.8. Thought Marmouche was okay. 5.8. 68. 68. Shirky passed it to Nunes. I've had people say both. I'm going to double check. Are you sure? Because Jack said he double checked. I've got the... I'll have a look. I'll have a look. Of course I'll have a look. Jack, on a scale of 1 to 10, how convinced are you that it was Bernardo? As would expect, because... Oh, let's mute that. That is copyrighted. Let's have... Oh, we'll have a look. Of course. Right. Someone is getting exposed as a fraud. It's Twister or Jack. Who is getting it? Oh, shall we do a poll? No, I don't want to do a poll. Who is getting it? Guys, get your predictions in the chat. Who is getting exposed? Let me know. Is it Twister or Jack? Oh, let's have a little look here. Oh, I have the answer, guys. I have the answer as to who is the fraud. Oh, wait. Oh no, I've not prepared this. One sec, it'll be worth it, guys. I promise. I promise it'll be worth it. Yeah, can you imagine none of them? I'm afraid that Twister, you are a fraudulent man. And it was indeed Bernardo who played the ball into Nunes. Jack, I know I'm right. In fairness, Shirky passes it to Bernardo beforehand, so I can understand why I'd think it was Shirky. Because Nunes plays it to Shirky just like a sideways pass. No, sorry, he doesn't. No, okay, I got that wrong. Shirky is loitering around the area, so I can understand why you would think that. Twister permapan. Oh, this is funny. Right, yeah. All good fun, guys. Big up to Twister. Yes, so Marmouche, what we were saying. Marmouche. I felt he struggled in the game. I don't think he had a bad game, but I felt that there were times where he struggled against Kanate especially. So, what are we saying for him, guys? Sorry. You guys said 6, 7.5. It was a thorn in their side. I don't think I'm willing to give him a 7. I can accept that he was always trying to try stuff against Kanate, so I'll give him a 65. I think that's fair. Right. There's 2 more starting players here, guys. 2 more. One is Haaland, and that's who we're starting with now. That's who we're going to. Actually, no. Let's come back to him. Let's start with Semenyo. Good off-ball game. Not the best on-ball game, unfortunately. Did keep giving the ball away, it seemed. We were getting him into really good areas, but it wasn't really a role suited to his talents. So I think that we didn't do very well with him, but at the same time, he's got to do better sometimes. He did struggle in the new role. But I'm just going to judge it based on what the role actually was. Yeah, like, to have 67% passing accuracy is a bit amazing, to be honest. He had that one shot which he hit straight at Allison. Again, good off ball, so that is going in his favour. If it were just the on ball, then he'd have a very low ranking, but because it isn't, I might just like give him the same as like Marmouche, to be honest. Just I don't really know what to do here. No, I'll give him a 60. No, I like the on-ball work. No, I'll give him 65. I don't care about the cap. 65, I think that's fine. And then Haaland. Right, now this is the one. Like Donnarumma, another weird one where I don't think he was actually very good across the whole game, but in the moment, he was very, very, very good. Like, he got the assist. He rose high for the first goal, and he scored the high-pressure penalty, which matters, and ultimately got us the win at Anfield. But he was pretty anonymous outside of that. It's hard to judge, because I'm judging it across the whole game. It's got to be relatively high, because he got a goal and an assist. Like, he literally won us he is the reason why we won the game. By virtue of goals. He was involved in both goals. So it's got to be quite high. Surely. He should have scored. You are correct. He should have scored there. 8, 8.4, 8, 8.3, 82, 7.7, a cheeky 78 for Big Earl. I am thinking a high 7. I am thinking that. He was, I know that it was like irrelevant, but he was fouled and drew a red card. So that's in his favour. He forced, and I know it didn't have any bearing on the game, but he forced a player to get sent off because he got fouled. So that's got to bump, that probably bumps him up a little bit as well, I guess. Even if the whole VAR thing was bollocks. He did force a red. So that's a thing. Also. That's such a hard one. Because, yeah, he should have scored the goal. But he forced a red. He got an assist. He got the goal. He scored the penalty, sorry. I'm thinking low 8 based on all that. Even though I don't think he had a good game overall, just because of how Jag. Just because of how important all of those individual moments are. And yeah, he should have done better for the goal, but it's not like the individual moments were potentially detrimental. I'm going to give him a low 8 as a consequence. I think that's right. I think that's fair. I'm going to give him an 81 because I gave Ait-Nouri 82, and I don't feel comfortable ranking Haaland higher than Ait-Nouri or the same as Ait-Nouri. So I'm going to rank him 81 because I ranked Ait-Nouri there. And then finally, Pep. Weird lineup, but it sort of worked. He brought on Shirky when we needed control. Didn't work, but that was the correct sub. He took off Kusano for Diaz. That was the correct sub. And he took off Marmouche in the 60th minute, which was probably the correct sub as well. So I think all the changes were correct. It's a bit tricky because I don't know how much of this is results-based. Because he did change the sides. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, though? I don't know. I'm thinking something beginning with a 7. I don't know. 7, Pep 7 winning the league. Pep 65. 6, 7.9. 75. Pep, give him a 10. I've no clue. Give Pep a 7. Give us a new meme. I'm gonna go... I'm just gonna go 70 because the second half issues are still there. So I'm gonna say 70. Tricky one. Tricky one, but that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm happy with those ratings. I think they're good. Excellent work. Excellent work, team. Well done. I was going to text Mrs. Nobbins, asking her to do something. Oh, she sent me pictures from last night. We are very cute. There's one of us kissing. It's so sweet. That's one of me holding a dirty beer. It's outrageous. It's outrageous behavior by your boy. Right. Okay. Good. Good. That's the post-mortem, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. The next bit of content on the channel will be my off-the-ball video, which is basically just a shortened version of the post-mortem. So if you have watched this all the way through, you're not necessarily going to miss out on stuff. I guess I just like briefly expand on some stuff a little bit more. I says, do I get access to content on YouTube if I sub on Twitch? No, I'm afraid not. You get an ad-free viewing experience on Twitch, though, if you support me on Twitch, and you get to support your boy, so that's worth its weight in gold, I would suggest. That's worth its weight in gold. Let's rate the referee. Oh, I forgot to rate the referee. Yeah, I forgot you can do that. I'd have given him quite a high ranking. Yes, there won't be a stream on Wednesday, because you guys know I don't stream the home games at the Etihad. Because I do have a season ticket, so I will not be that. I'd be doing that, but there will be an off-the-ball video released tonight, and I will rewatch the game, and I will do a post-match analysis video to be released tomorrow. I don't think on reflection that I'm going to change my mind, but I often do change my mind after watching a game, so we will see what we see. Of course there'll be a Salford stream. Like, I'm not a nonce. Like, come on, guys. Of course there's going to be a Salford stream. Of course there is. IRL stream doing what? doing what? Shall Queen Bee and I go to the gym? Should we go to the gym together and pump some iron? Eh? I think we live reasonably close to one another. Live IRL L Bins. Nobbins analyzes the match on the incline bench press. Stream the Fulham game. You do not get that level of service in the Etihad, I'm afraid. You are disappointed if you think you're getting that. Yes, so it'll be an off-the-ball stream. Oh, also, guys, have you been watching? Have you guys, first of all, please don't go anywhere. I need to big up to you for following the Twitch, by the way. Have you guys been noticing that I have been uploading shorts recently? Or if you follow the Instagram or TikTok, have you been noticing that I've been uploading short-form content more so? Opinion on that? Thoughts on that? Let me know. Good addition? Are we enjoying the shorts? Do we not care about the shorts? Would we be upset if they went away? Let me know. Big up to my beautiful supporters on Patreon and YouTube membership, by the way. I'll have to update this list. We've had a very generous situation. You like the 5 observations ones? Yes. That's not showing up for you. What an L. You could post 2 or 3 from the videos as opposed to just 1. Well, we did do that for the most recent Off the Ball, True Citizen. 2 videos did come from that. The Trafford short and the Reinders short. You like the shorts? Good. Okay. Because I've taken a bit of a risk. You know, I'm not the biggest boy when it comes to, you know, the YouTube space and whatnot, but I have, this month as a trial, I have hired a short form video editor to make shorts for me. So if they go well, if you guys like them, then I can continue to pay this man to make videos for me. So yeah, I'm glad you guys like them. We've only been doing them for a week or so. Let's see how we get on there. But hopefully that's an investment which is appreciated, and hopefully it's an investment which produces some interesting shorts. That's why big up to everyone for supporting. Well, apart from, like, you know, the money to survive, all proceeds from this channel go back into the channel. I need that. I always say that, but I need that to be known. All proceeds go back into it. Yeah? So, big up to everyone for helping support the channel, because that helps create better content. That means I can, like, you know, hire a short form editor or whatever. It means I can pay for, you know, intense data stats and stats and all that bollocks. And I can do all this bits and bobs. So big up to everyone for supporting the channel. Big up to everyone for just being here generally as well. Thank you so much for watching the Post-Mortem. I will be back on LB's channel for LBins tomorrow, so feel free to join us. There will also be an upload after this stream, and there will be a post-match analysis video after I have rewatched and reviewed the stream tomorrow. So, big up everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you got some value from today's show. And I'll catch you later next week. Bye.